it's me, Jennifer from Little Metal Foxes, and
Julia, also from Little Metal Foxes.
hi everybody. It's Tool Talk Tuesday, and you know what that means? Tool tips from everyone. And we have our guest is joining us tonight, Leslie Perrino. She's joining us from Chicago, and there she is. We're going to get her in here. Let's see, and let's do this. We're going to invite. There we go. See if we can get Leslie to join. Hey, there she is. Hi.
Oh, the technology worked. Yay.
Wow. It's so great to see you. How are you?
Our faces.
I know. Your happy faces. Look at you. I'm so glad to see you.
Yes.
And yeah, we've got Chris from Lion Punch Forge with us too tonight. He's on. Hi, Chris.
Ooh,
hello.
Forge. Awesome
Yeah.
sauce.
We love Chris. He's awesome.
I know, I have to apologize to Chris because he sent me a prototype from something. I haven't done anything with it yet.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry, Chris, I'm getting right on it.
I haven't been in the studio. I've been out of the country, and
then she was sick.
And then I came back sick.
And then she got more sick. And
Yeah.
then, yeah. But
So,
now she's better. Yeah.
She's doing good, finally. Anyway, but yeah, Leslie, we're so excited to have you teaching a class this weekend.
It's going to be fun. I can't wait.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Tell us a little bit about it. Tell our peeps about it a little bit.
Well, I kind of stumbled upon it a while back, and I discovered these things called embossing folders. And you know, a lot of people, when they're putting a texture in a metal or something, they just roll it through the rolling mill with just like a piece of paper or something like that. Well, these, if you use a thin enough metal, they really make nice big, you know, like little little troughs that you could put enamel in. And I just found it to be it just gave a really nice feeling. So I started messing around with them, and I just keep going back to them every now and then. It's like my playtime.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and they are they're folders that you would normally use for paper embossing.
Exactly. Right? And I think, you know, because I've worked in other things where it's not just metal, you know, I kind of find out about these things. And then, you know, how we often take things that other, you know, mediums and take them and bring them into our metalwork and our enamel.
Absolutely.
So, crossover. I love the cross-pollination
crossover
disciplines. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with Julia, it's a lot of fiber stuff that crosses over with fiber and chain. Yes. For me, it's a lot of, you know, print making and sculpture stuff, painting stuff. Yeah. So it's, a little more mixed media stuff that I'm working with. But yeah, that's really cool. So yeah, we're glad to have that. And there's, I think, just a couple of seats left. So if anybody's interested in getting in there,
yes,
I would definitely recommend it. It is the hot ticket right now. Yeah. So yeah,
that's good. I'm really happy that
me too.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I'm
thinking
and I'll be in there, and Helen's going to be in there. She's going to be joining us from London, so we'll be there as well. And because both of us are just like, tell me about it. So yeah, so we're very excited to hear more about it. And but we are also very excited because something just happened on our end that we are very excited about, and it's new swag. We just got new stickers. And look at this.
Cute.
Isn't that cool?
That's so Helen, I can't stand it.
Yes. Helen, speaking of bringing things in, Helen is an amazing illustrator and painter. And so she did the illustrations for the fox, but we got stickers. There's that one with the fox.
Oh, that's adorable.
And then we've got this one that's the hammer. And the glitter. We love it. And of course, the cups.
Oh, those are great.
But yeah, I especially love the lunch bag or the tool tote. Tool tote.
I was
lunch bag.
New docking punches in so they would like stay clean and not get rusty. And I was like, this is going to be perfect. I'm going to put like heavy. I'll put a piece of like plexi or something in the bottom to make it flat and solid.
Yeah.
And then they'll just fit right in there.
Yeah. I'm gonna put my
two of my favorite things, lunch and tools. Okay. So
yeah, dust cutter. Yeah.
Lunch
exactly.
and tools. Exactly.
Right. Lunch and tools. My peanut butter jelly sandwich and my stickers and my center punch. Off to the studio. Yeah. So yes, we are very excited. How long have you been doing enameling and stuff?
Oh gosh, you know, I don't know if this happens to you as you get older, but I'm thinking, oh yeah, I've been doing it for 10 years. And then I think, oh no, actually 20 years. Wait, maybe 25 years. I don't know how it
Yeah.
happens. Okay. I don't know. It just happens, you know, and suddenly it's 20 years. So I'm thinking, oh, enameling. Well, I mean, I did it a little in undergrad, and then I did a little in grad, and then really where I of course have the metalsmithing, but where I really started doing the enameling more seriously is when I went to an enameling conference, and I remember that because it was 9/11. It was right after the towers came down. See,
Oh my
ancient
God.
history. Yeah, and I went to my first enameling conference, and I took a workshop, and then I went, and that really helped because they do good workshops and stuff. So I only had a few classes because, you know, when you're in college, you only get like, you know, one class, you know, specialty
One of
classes.
this and one of that, and
Yeah, exactly. And then also that same year, our local guild, enameling guild, started up, and then we would have somebody once a year coming there, and then I would go every year. So I got a good education, you know, through the enamel because the top people are in there. So that's how I got started. And plus, and I was motivated because I wanted to teach enameling at my local,
right.
you know, local art center. So I really wanted to, you know, do it more, and I really learned a lot. It just, you know, was a great
Yeah.
opportunity.
You've had the opportunity to study with some of the best enamelists around, and that is
Yep.
such a joy and such a luxury that a lot of people don't have. And to be able to share that information with people that are remote, like you with Little Metal Foxes, is really great because a lot of times they can't, you know, one, afford to study with, like, you know, and travel to, you know, someplace, San Diego or New York.
Yeah.
And you know, so they're sort of stuck in an isolated place. And it gives everybody a really good chance and a good way to, you know, bring some color into their work, learn from somebody that's been doing this for a long time, and add stuff to their work that gives them more ways to express themselves. So yeah, it's really kind of exciting.
I was going to say, I love that, like, part of your motivation for learning to do enameling was so you could teach it, because there is no better way to learn something than when you're looking at it from the perspective of how would I teach it, because you're breaking it down as you're learning it, and then it also helps you, it like really solidifies the knowledge for you.
Yeah, I always tell my students that teach each other, you know, like because then when you show them, you know, with that almost anything. But yeah, so I just love the teaching. I really, I mean, as an artist, I feel like that's one of my arts is teaching. Not everybody, you know, because somebody can be good at enameling, but they may not be able to teach it, you know. So I'm fortunate that I really love the teaching. I'm just like, I'm obsessed with it, and so then that makes it easier to teach.
Yeah.
So when you love it.
There's Shauna just signed on. Hi, Shauna. Speaking of awesome people, yeah, you know, I mean, I think that having that that discipline to be able to teach as well gives you, like Julia was saying, it makes you think about it in a little bit different way, because you have to verbalize it and put it in order and break it down in a way that makes it, you know, like reconnects it in your brain. And yeah, I do that with my students a lot, where I have them, you know, sit down, go through the process, and then have to share it with somebody else that hasn't done it yet, you know, or have them.
It's so fun.
Yeah,
it's really fun to watch people get it. And I find a lot of times with teaching, it's not so much teaching. I mean, that's part of it, but a lot of it is just, you know, reminding them they can do it, you know, being a little, you know, like, you can do this. It's not that hard, you know, and, you know, encouraging, and then boom, they're like, oh yeah, I guess I can do this, you know, and they're always so surprised.
Well, one of the classes, several of our classes are the Demystified series that we do. Yeah, because it's just, you know, I think a lot of times people get really concerned that, you know, they don't have the tools, or they don't have the knowledge, or they're not talented enough, or they, you know, whatever they're yeah, they can't, like, I can't do this because blah blah blah, and it makes it, you know, I think really a lot more accessible when you're like, you know what, we're going to demystify this. Let me tell you what it is, and how you can approach it, and give it a try. It's not as hard as you think it's going to be, and everything that we work with is recyclable. And making mistakes or melting something is not as big a deal as you might think. And yeah, and I've had
I always
students
say that whenever my students make a mistake, I'm like, you are so lucky, because you're going to remember it better, because you messed up, then you're going to learn how to fix it. And I may not be around with, like if it goes all perfectly the first time and they're going to do it, they might be right. Then this way they can see what to do to fix it. And so that it really makes a difference, I think.
I would say that when I mess up too, like if
exactly.
I wrong, it's like, oh, you guys got so lucky, because two reasons. One, you got to see me mess up, so that's demystified the fact that I'm not perfect, right?
Yes.
I do. But then also I get to go through that process of how that's in the video as well, which is how do you come back from that. We are very much hoping, Leslie, that you're going to teach many more than just one class. We're hoping you're going to bring all of that teaching energy to multiple classes at Little Metal Foxes. Yeah,
because it's one of the reasons that I just love you and wanted you to do this is because there are lots of reasons. One, because I just adore you and think you're awesome, and we've known each other for a long time.
Yeah, I think 2000, right? Roughly around 2000 we met. A little before that. Yeah,
at a snack conference. Yeah, and
before that even.
But I absolutely love your outlook on life, your optimism, your energy, and
Thank you.
and you're willing to share that information with others and teach, and that is something that we really love in our classrooms with the teachers that are teaching things like Chris and Julia and Helen and Michelle and Jan.
I know.
We've had some
good folks, right?
Yeah, and they bring good energy to the class and encourage people. AJ, yeah, absolutely. That make it seem like it's something you can do. You can do this, and here are the tools to do it. And if you don't have all the tools to do it, this is what you can do it with instead, or manage to be able to
get around it. Right.
Yeah. So just like you said, demystifying it and making it what you need it to be. Add some spice, add some stuff. And speaking of teachers, Kyle, who teaches high school, he's a high school metalsmithing teacher. So yay for a high school teacher. So yeah, Kyle, this would be a great class for you. And oh my god,
yeah, oh my god, yes, it would be a class for Kyle. Yeah, because it is a really accessible way to do enamels, even at the high school level if there's a kiln, and there's nothing like being able to add color and pattern and stuff.
And being able to have that texture like that is so cool.
Yeah, it's really fun because you can really get. I don't know how well you guys can see this, but light in there a little bit. I mean,
I'm moving out of the way so you can.
Right.
So here, this is more dramatic. Yeah.
Oh wow.
That is so cool.
It's what's nice is it's light, but one of the things you have to be careful is, it's you can't just leave it hanging out because it's so thin, the edges, so you have to put it in something like this is a rolled bezel that I got at Metalliferous. And then, in this, and another thing you can do is if you leave the edges not enameled, then you can bend them over something, this one I folded over just a piece of cardboard and then made it into a pin. So I usually do this. I usually do this technique for the enamel conference when we do pin swaps. That's a tradition in the conference, and so I've been doing it for years. And what's fun is I can't make the same one twice. So they always look different. They're all kind of one of a kind. And then sometimes I dress them up and I put them
in a really nice bezel with other stones. Beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah. Oh my god. Love the chain too. Woo!
Chain too. I'm obsessed with making chains these days. So because
the paperclip chain. So Chris, so first of all, Chris and Kyle,
Yes.
Leslie's class is this coming weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So even if you can't be there in person, you should sign up because you'll have access to the videos and she'll answer questions and all that. But Chris is has been making paperclip mandrels for making those long chain link.
Okay.
They're awesome.
Yeah. So he has
That's
a
cool.
series of paperclip mandrels.
I love making them. They're so much fun.
Yeah. Well,
Go ahead.
so great. What would I know we've got a couple of people interested, but
Nice.
what is your? I know you said you had a couple of tips you wanted to share tonight.
Because it's Tool Tips Tuesday, and we are all obsessed with tools, right? So this is just something really simple that I discovered and I love. It's like a kind of a game changer for enameling. It's a pair of tweezers, and they're called square plate tweezers. See how there's like a plate on that? So what's great about it is when you've got there I am. So here's the enamel, and then you can just reach in and lift it flat like that. And it's great because with the thinner tweezers, they're not as stable. And also sometimes if this thing is still a little too hot, you can take those tweezers and make a mark. I mean, these still will too, but it's less likely to make a mark than
because it's so much surface area.
Yeah. And it's you feel a lot of sturdiness. I mean, I'm sure this is good for other besides enameling, but I love them because they're really sturdy and they cost a whopping $3.49.
From
Oh, my favorite place, widgetsupplycom.
I've never heard of widgetsupply.com.
And it's one of my favorite places. It's called hard to find hobby tools, and it's one of those nerdy little sites, I mean, it's all like, and they have all kinds of tweezers. I get them like you can get them on sale sometimes for 99 cents. Now that was a few years ago. Now COVID, God knows, but still, I looked this up today just to make sure I wasn't, because I don't know about you guys. Every time I think I know the price of something or it disappears. Like when I was working for this thing, you need 36 gauge copper, and I always would get it at Amazon in this little roll. It was called Made O Metal, and it was like I was always, and then now all of a sudden it's gone, and I'm thinking Made O Metal, like if you look at their logo, it looks like pretty like from the 50s, so I'm thinking maybe they're retiring. So I had to do a little stumbling around to make sure I could find another source for it, and I did. It's something like copper. I have it on my thing, but yeah. So anyway, but this is but I digress. This is $3.49, and I love it.
Give us the URL again. It was widgetsupply.com. I can't read it because it's backwards.
So,
oh, sorry. Widget Supply, WIDGET supply, all one word.com.
Okay.
And they also have like Dremel tools and what's the other thing I love to get from them? Mostly that and the tweezers are my two favorite things to get. And they have little. Pardon?
What's the tweezer name when you're looking?
Oh, square plate tweezers.
Square
plate tweezers.
Yeah.
Tweezers.
Yeah, they're the bomb. And it's such a simple thing, and but it just made a little. I love those tools that they're not expensive, and they make a difference.
They really make a difference. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and they're multi-use. I mean, I can see so many uses for those.
Yeah, it's just really. Yeah, I mean, there's so many other things love them.
You can slip that little sucker in a third hand.
Oh.
Ooh,
and it would do a really nice job of holding something with flat when you're soldering.
Like put it down. Yeah. Well, is it what is it, about 1 by 1?
Yeah, I'd say that's about right. A little less than 1.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
3/4.
About 3/4. Yeah.
A little longer than little 7/8 or something.
Yeah, it's just right. You can get in there and pull it out, and it's just really. Also, can I? Oh, I can't. Can I switch? I can switch. Hold on.
Yeah. Chris said he's working.
So I'm just going to show you some of the other little goodies here. Let me see if I can. Does that help you?
Yes.
This is my little guy. I think you can see it better than me holding it up.
Yeah. Oh, the color's amazing on that.
And your paperclip.
Yeah, and you know what's funny about this? I don't think that the only color on it, I think, is a white, like a 533 white, or it might have been a 1070 white. I can't remember. And then just wax yellow over the whole thing. That all the color is the copper.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful
Oh,
color.
God, I love copper.
Yeah. And then then this is a similar thing in that it's just white, and then I don't even know if I have a clear over that. I don't think so. I think that's just the copper. You know, the copper is awesome, right?
Yeah,
We love the copper.
we
And then
do.
these funky little these little funky ones here. So I don't have a whole lot of samples. I'm sorry, because they're all gone. They're all like, you
Pick up
know.
pins for your pin
Yeah.
exchange.
There's one I was wearing.
Yeah. Oh my
So,
gosh.
Oh, and I love
these.
that you're setting them into like a commercially available, you know, because you said you were the disc that you were setting them in from the someplace. That would be great to file too, because it's like then the students don't have to make that.
Exactly. And what I do, like there's these things they're called pendant trays, and this is one out of talk, Leslie, stainless steel. There we go. And but I use like that. There's the heavy duty pewter ones, and I like to do that because then you can concentrate on this. I mean, like I do occasionally do a nice fancy thing, and that's fine. But like when I'm doing pins or when I'm doing something, you know, it's really nice to be able to just put them in there. So you have to just fit them. You just have to be careful to fit them before you go into
before you enamel them.
Yeah, before you enamel them. Yeah, because where am I?
There you are.
Good Lord.
You know,
there we go.
Too is a lot of those are available through like bead stores and
yes, my favorite is
my
favorite. Well, I did have this one place. They call them pendant trays. Okay, and I used to have this place that I used to go to all the time, and then at COVID they suddenly went out of business. So that, but then I found Etsy, and there's a shop. There's a lot of it on there. Oh my gosh, there's so many things. But Perfect Pendants Plus is a good place to start. They, you know, I've worked with them, so I know they're, you know, reasonably reputable. Right. And then I found some nice stainless steel ones. I've been, you know, because the ones that are from there kind of pewtery, like and they're nice, but they're a little chunky. So I was looking for something a little thinner. You know, there's a lot out there. I've seen them with wood. You know, you could put it in a wood one. You just, like I said, you have to play around with the sizing, but once you get that. And also, it's good for something like I have it around this pin. But if you were doing like a wall piece or something on the, you know, to hang on the wall, you could just glue them down and not have to worry about the edges and stuff. So they could be good, you know, as a mixed media like that. So I think that's what.
Tile, like it's
it would be. They're real thin, so it'd be kind of like a. I'm trying to think of the name of the artist that does that, and I can't say his name right now. I hate aphasia. I can't remember. But yeah, I've seen it done a lot, and it's not really all that new because it's just foil, and a lot of people will, you know, you can just, you know, you can use like a ball, one of those little ball things or an old pen or whatever, and you can, you know, flip it back and forth and make your own depth. It's just, what's nice about the tiles or the thingies, the folding, the net folding, is that they really make it sharp. You know, they make it really sharp, and you have a lot of options because you can put them front or back. You can you can go back in on your own with stuff. So I try to pick things that are more geometric, so then that way you have the option to make it your own. So it's not like I'm just, you know, this thing. And because they're smaller than what you're, you know, so it's really a great place to start. And I like, you know, I like that.
Well, and that's I think one of the great things about this particular class that you're teaching is that it's accessible. It's, you know, there are lots of options. It's stuff that's available locally. I mean, you can get stuff like, you know, thin copper from places like KNS.
Well, or Online Metals. If you're here in Seattle, Online Metals has pretty thin.
Yeah.
And they actually, Online Metals, onlinemetals.com.
Right.
They're national. They have several locations. We happen to have a physical brick and mortar here in Seattle, but they're in other parts of the country. And I would be very surprised if they don't have.
There's a place, I'm sorry I'm blocking on it, but it's like copper.com or something like that. And it had, because I looked it up to make sure, because it is actually a little tricky to get 36, you know, and it's pretty, if you get anything thinner, it doesn't work. You know, that's the part. You could probably get away with 34. But it is pretty easy to get. You just get a roll and you're done. You're done.
30 gauge that you're working with, or
36.
Very.
It's very tiny, yeah. So, and that's because, and that's how you get the best, you know, because they're plastic, right? And that's how they get the best, you know, whatever. And
foil 36 gauge.
Yeah.
It's like a copper. It's
Yeah.
like a heavy copper foil.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not a foil, but yeah, I can grab some. Hold on.
You know, the other thing that if you've got a rolling mill, because you can mill it down,
That's true.
you know, gauge you need, but a lot of places like Online Metals or some places that are, you know, if you have some place local, they may be able to make some for you.
Mhm.
You know, if you're there, oh yeah,
Made o' metal.
oh metal.
I'm
You know,
kind of sad because I always liked, it's just so fun, made o' metal, and I'm kind of sad that I can't get it from them anymore. It used to be
Well,
I
I
just get on
wonder-
Amazon and go, and you can see this is 12 inches by 10 feet.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so, and it's, it's a pretty hefty little thing.
Well, I wonder if you couldn't get it from like stained glass supply places.
From where?
Stained glass supply.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, the thing we have to be careful of is that it's going to be really copper and not, copper over aluminum.
Right.
But here it is.
Look.
See, you can see it's pretty thin.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know what? Here, I have some.
Love her.
Love her energy.
Yeah. Take her class. Kyle and Chris, sign up for her class.
Yes, please.
You can still get the 10% discount because we have a 10% discount code that runs through the end of September, which we are not there yet. So the discount code is back to school 10. BOSCOOL10. All caps for the letters and no spaces.
Yeah. And if you're a friend of Lion Punch Forge, you can use the Lion Punch Forge discount as well.
I think it's set up so you can only use one.
Well, no. One or the other.
One or the other.
Chris has a discount.
You
Ooh.
can see how it's, it's pretty thin. But if you don't, if it's not thin enough, you don't get the detail. That's the secret. And that's the limitation because it is a thin. So you have to work around the fact that it's thin. I'm going to tell you guys a funny story. So you can see this is cut out like this. So all the time before, I had a little cardboard, template that I would put down and I'd draw, with a magic marker, and then I'd cut out with my, carefully cut out, and then in the middle of COVID, I call it the COVID blessing. I discovered. Oops, wait, go back here. There, I discovered this. I had it sitting there because I used it to cut out the punch, and I'm like, I wonder if I could, and it was like, oh, it made it so much faster. It because I could just cut it all out. Isn't that hilarious?
Oh my God, that's brilliant.
I know. It was
Oh my
hilarious.
God.
And I just sat there and laughed for like 20 minutes because, for years I was doing it the other way. It was sitting right there. I used it to cut to make the stupid template,
Oh my God.
I know. Don't you love stuff like that?
Hilarious. Use it to make the template, and then you would cut it out carefully with scissors. So is
I've
that,
got so many of those.
is that on your supply list?
It is, and and I'll talk about it. This is, and you don't need it. When you're first doing your first few, you can do that and adjust. But then this one, I like this particular brand, EK, because it's really nice and sturdy. But I haven't explored all of them, but this one seems to be a good brand. But whatever you've got around, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I've got some
miracle.
square and rectangle ones. And, yeah. I've got a bunch of different shapes. That's awesome.
Okay.
Yep.
That's awesome.
But
Yeah.
again, this is the thing. You trade the durability of this stuff, because you can't really, but you trade the durability, but you get some good things like the really nice detail and the easy cutting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's
God.
like where you understand that in any art form, you have any media that you use, you have the strengths and weaknesses. So, and you just have to.
Well, I love that being able to bring that from because you do paper and fabric too, don't you? You do some.
I have a little side gig. When I worked in a retirement community, and I learned how to make silk scarves. And so I still do workshops. For years I do a little workshop where we do, some silk, and it's still very popular because, again, pretty colors,
You should one for us because because a thin silk scarf is a beautiful way to wear a pendant.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like a small one, like not
Yeah.
long and not terribly big, and you just kind of like thread it on and
You're so smart. She's just so smart.
She has a big brain.
But I would love it. You should totally do that for Little Metal Foxes. We'd love to have you do a class on painting silk scarves.
I would love it too, but I'll have to work on it because I always do it somewhere else where there's big sinks and I don't really have a space in my house. So we'll have to be creative and figure out how.
Well, you put that in the hopper and think about how you can make it go. And then, because we would love to have that. That would be really cool.
That'd be good. Well, cool. Well, Leslie, oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing your tips.
I know. Multiple tips. I know.
Yeah.
It's so fun to talk to you guys.
You too. And we will.
Thanks for joining me and listening to me drivel on about,
Oh, it's so much great information.
Stop apologizing.
No, so much good information. Love those. So,
yeah, we love those.
Helen and I will see you Saturday morning and are looking forward to
more of you guys.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to you, and we've got a couple of new signups, so that's okay. That's all going to be good.
Excellent.
So see you then.
I feel excited. I'm going to have a full class maybe. Yay.
Yeah, that would be so cool.
Absolutely.
That is entirely possible.
It makes it so fun because when people are asking questions and interacting, you get that feel of the classroom. And we've got so many people that have been taking multiple classes that they've gotten to know each other and gotten to be friends. So it's, and everybody brings so much energy and so much knowledge of their own experiences.
Yes, and that's what I love about teaching, that I learn as much as I teach.
Yeah, me too. I always feel like I'm learning exponentially. So yeah.
You never learning. Well, great. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you. We'll see you Saturday. Yeah.
All right.
All right. We'll see you later. Thanks. Bye, everybody.